little different than all the rest. I'm quite old-fashioned, wear a hat, sometimes play chess. And when I'm out, I'm looking for that vintage fling.
I'm so very blessed to be living in a town that is surrounded by a forest. It's really very special. And also, another thing is very special, is getting outdoors. Walking is more than just a form of exercise for me. It's almost like a sanctuary. When I step outside and feel the ground beneath my feet, and I see nature surrounding me, and I watch my animals, it's like the weight of the world is lifted from my shoulders. Just watching my animals and seeing the trees blow in the breeze, it's just like a calming mantra, grounding me in the present moment. And I find myself, when I'm very anxious, that I need to really make sure that I am in the present moment. Each step, I tell myself, look at what's surrounding you. Look at what you're doing now. With every stride that I take, I feel a little lighter. My smile is a little broader. It's just amazing how nature can embrace me when I'm feeling so overwhelmed. I've learned to use my senses, or I'm trying to use my senses to manage my anxiety. And I focus on my breathing when I'm home, inside. But honestly, the fresh air filling my lungs, the scent of the fresh cut grass, which I'm so glad to say, the sound of my animals and their feet across the shell. This mindful practice is going to help me reconnect with my body and the world, and it's going to pull me away from my anxious thoughts. Hopefully you will take the time to get outside and walk with nature. And when you go back home, you feel like you've had a sense of accomplishment. No matter how small the walk, we don't have to walk 5 miles a day. I just know that I've taken a step, both physically and mentally, towards easing my anxiety. Bonjour, good morning, bienvenue, welcome. If this is your first time here, thank you so much, and I hope you continue to follow me and subscribe if you have the time. And if you are a continuous follower, thank you also. And if you haven't subscribed, I would love that too. Now we've got that out of the way. Let's have a coffee chat. And I will tell you that this is my first sip of coffee, so be very kind because usually I don't talk to anyone until after my first cup of coffee, and I may even take 2 sips. I see YouTubers all the time, they make their coffee, but you never see them sit down and drink it. I'm drinking mine. I've decided lately that when it comes to having coffee or a drink or something like that, if I'm going to sit down and talk with you guys, or if I'm going to sit down and do some work on my computer, I need a cup of coffee. So that's just the way it is. I'm smiling and grinning, and I'm wanting to do the best on this video that I can. And I want to try to make you understand, and I'm going to try to understand more about me as I'm talking to you. Because remember, this is a coffee chat. You're in my living room, right? I have been so homesick lately that I have been thinking about moving back to the States. Lord knows I don't know what I would do there. I don't know anything else. I'm just telling you that I have had the blahs so bad. And I mentioned this on a live that I had the other day. And for those of you that were kind enough to watch that live and that were kind enough to comment and email me, I have just been swamped with so many kind and different ways of maybe doing this without moving back to the States. And I've just been inundated with people with kindness. And I want to tell you thank you, but not everyone saw my live. So I just want to come on here and tell you what my thoughts have been lately. Number one, I'd had the blahs. That started about a week and a half ago. And I just woke up one morning and I was crying and I said, I just miss my daughter so much. And, she's married and I'm going to miss out on this and I'm going to miss out on that. And I know people that have said before, Janice, when you have those grandbabies one day, you're going to want to go back home. And I go, no, I'm not that kind of person. And then I've had people say, how can you leave your daughter behind? And I'm going, she has her own life. And now that she's married, she really has her own life. And she has an adult job. She's changed jobs. She's got married. She has a home. She has responsibilities. She doesn't need me on her back door all the time. But, oh, man, do I miss her. I just miss going to lunch with her. I miss having coffee with her. Now that she's older, I miss just having those conversations with her. I just miss touching her, smelling her, just being around her. And I don't know what to do. I am so torn. And I have made such a great life here. And I don't even know what I would do in Georgia. I mean, you can't be Janice in Georgia. I just don't know what I would even do. So about 4 days after that, I had some lovely people, a couple from Canada and a lovely woman from Arkansas. And they came to the hotel where I always have coffee and guests come in, the Napoleon Hotel, because I always keep telling the staff, I'm going to move in one day. I don't know how I'm going to pay for it, but I'm going to move in one day. But anyway, we had just been having a wonderful conversation and laughing and talking. And I don't know whether I had a drop in my blood sugar level or what happened. But I had the worst panic attack that I've had in over 15 years. The worst. It was time to say goodbye, so I said goodbye to all of them and hugged them goodbye, and I went to the restroom, and then I came back out, and I knew that I had to have something to eat, or that's how I felt. I felt anxious, and I knew I had to have something to eat. I popped out in sweat on my face, and I went to this little boulangerie, and I had one of the ladies behind me, and I don't even think she knew what was going on, and as soon as she walked out the door, I bought my item, and I went across the street to get the bus, and I started eating on it like, I haven't eaten in years. And then all of a sudden I became nauseous at my stomach and continual with the sweating. And then I thought, oh no, I'm going to pass out. And I thought, oh my God, Janice, if you pass out, they're going to take you to the hospital. And when you get to the hospital, you're going to owe a bill, and you're going to owe a bill because you're having a panic attack. Well, of course, that just made things even worse. So I called an Uber, and fortunately, he got there within 1 minute, I guess. It seemed like 30 seconds, but he was there quickly. And I got home within 3 minutes. And I know some of you know this, but some of you may not know this, but I've been on medication for anxiety for 21 years. But it isn't anything that I've had to use. Maybe every once in a while, I'll take a quarter of a pill. I came in, and before I did anything, I popped a pill, a whole pill, and I finished my little quiche. And I have to tell you, this is the first time that Max didn't sit at my feet and bark because he wanted some of my food. I think he knew. Mother needs every bit of that. So I called Jennifer, and I was talking to her because I knew she was on her way to work. And I turned on the fan, and I just propped my head on 3 pillows. And I was talking to her, and I could tell, you know, in about 40 minutes, my body was getting better and better. Of course, it had, you know, the medication, it started kicking in, of course. And then all of a sudden you start doubting yourself. What brought this on? What caused this? What did you do? Did you think too much about moving back to the States? Why didn't you eat? And then I thought, I did eat. I had a protein drink that morning. But I don't know what it was. It came on out of the blue. And it's almost the most crippling thing that I've ever had to deal with. So I think I went on live about 2 days after that, and I talked to people about it. And because sometimes that helps, you know, it's kind of like me talking to you now. It helps to vent. And I hope you have someone at your home and in your neighborhood or your state or your area, wherever you are, your country, that you can go and vent with someone. And if you need to vent with me, you can always email me, Janice in France @gmail.com. And just don't email me and tell me what to do. You can give me suggestions, but don't tell me what to do. I had a lady the other day that emailed me and she said, well, this is what you need to do. And I thought, oh, please don't tell me what to do. I hate it when people tell me what to do. I'm like a little kid. Don't tell me what to do. I know she was being kind. But just give suggestions. And you know what? If you email me and you want to vent, I'll just give you suggestions. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You know, being a therapist for over 10 years, you don't tell people what to do. People come in and they say, I think I want a divorce. Okay, let's talk about it. I don't sit there and go, okay, go file the papers, you know. Or, no, you don't need to do that. You go back home and you work it out. That wasn't my job, and that isn't my job now. But if you ever have the tendency to want to vent, just say, venting, write it out. You won't even hear a response from me if you don't want to. So anyway, going back, I did do the live, and I did take myself off Facebook. I did do that. I don't think it had anything to do with triggering my anxiety, but I did take myself off Facebook. The only time you will see me post on Facebook for a while is either a copy of my YouTube or maybe something that has something to do with Instagram or YouTube. Other than that, there's not going to be any random, how's your day? How have you been? And then when people put on there, I would like for you to pray for me. Of course I will, but I don't need to say I'm praying. I'm just not going to comment. Now, my French teacher, and there are a couple others through Instagram that, you know, I'll answer anyone in Instagram. I'm just not doing the Facebook thing for a while. I have just found out, for me only, Facebook is just a way to just spout out whatever you want to, because you're behind a phone or a camera or a computer, and you just need to say what you want to. And if you were in front of that person, you probably wouldn't say that at all. So for right now, I don't know how long, if you want to view me and what I'm doing, You can watch my lives and you can watch my YouTube. And I always post on the phone. And if you don't know how to find that, hang on just 1 minute. I'm going to show you. Because to be very honest, I didn't know how to do this either. Okay, so this is what you do. You go to YouTube and you tap in, or you go to, I don't know if you can see it or not, Janice in France. And you tap on Janice in France. And then you tap on my name, and then all these things come up right here. Shorts, live, post, whatever. And right there where it says post is where I post messages every day. I post if I'm going to go live. I post about the Wisdom and Wellness class on Sunday evenings, which we will have one this Sunday. And I do a lot of information there. So if you want to see what's going on with me, or you ever want to join one of my lives, please do so, and please feel free. And now you know how to do it. Because honestly, I didn't know much about this YouTube stuff either. I've had to learn along the way. And Mary Grace has had to teach me quite a bit, trust me. So anyway, I just don't know what I want to do. I love making videos. I have a passion for making videos. I love showing you around. I love just cleaning up in my kitchen, in my bedroom, and showing you what it's like, just a normal life here. I had a video last night that went out, and it was just, I've heard so many great comments about it. And I even told Mary Grace, I said, Mary Grace, this is gonna be the worst video, I know it. I just don't have a good feeling about it. And it ended up being one of my better ones. So sometimes it's like, I don't know, going back to the anxiety. Because see, if you were in my living room, we would be doing this, going back and forth. But I took about 4 days off. I said no more to Facebook. If people want to find me, they can go to Instagram, and Instagram is not hard to download. And you can watch me on live, or you can watch me on YouTube, and that's it. I'm not going to be on Facebook. I'm going to start doing a little bit more fashion, I think, on Instagram. I want to be like one of the big girls. That's what I'm trying to be like. I want to be like one of the big girls, but Janice style. But honestly, I took off 4 days. I did no videos. I did a lot of walking. Max and I did a lot of walking. We walked through the garden a lot. We walked even at night. I don't know. I don't know what happened. You know, but I've had these since I was 21, and there's no rhyme or reason, and I know that. But boy, does it scare the bejeegers out of you, you know? Woo! 1 minute you're on top of the world, and the next minute it's like God said, chill out. Whatever you're doing, stop. And I don't know exactly what I was doing except worrying. Just worrying. And this whole girlfriend's getaway, this idea was so good, and I loved the idea, but I have stressed out about it. The dollar has now changed, so what I would have paid $1,200 for a room, now I'm having to pay $1,400 for. I didn't charge enough. I don't know. It just has stressed me out. Can I not wait to see my first girlfriend's getaway? Yes, I can't wait. Because one of the ladies I used to work with years ago, and I can't wait to see her, Teresa. And I can't wait to meet with them and go to dinner with them and stroll around Paris with them. I'm going to enjoy that tremendously. But do I want to do it again? No. I don't know if that's what brought on the stress or the panic attack, but I'm telling you, it certainly didn't help it. And how you can be having fun at 1 minute and then all of a sudden a panic attack the next, I don't know. It's just the way your brain's wired. So I haven't talked to my daughter about this because I don't want to get my daughter's hopes up. But I just feel like I need to be home with her. And I don't know why. I think it has a lot to do with her being married. Maybe I just feel left out. I don't know. I just think I'm going to have to save more money and go home more often, I guess. Because honestly, I don't know what I would do when I went home. I don't have money for a car. But I do want to tell you one thing. I know I'm switching up here. I have a friend named Steve that lives in the States. And he and I have been friends since 2016. And I remember that because Jennifer was 16 years old. And we met on Match.com. And I remember the funniest story is he said, I'm not going to date anyone that's more than 2 miles away from me because I'm not going to drive a distance and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, wow, what a narrow-minded person, you know? And he said, he said, I have a really strange personality and, you may not want to know me or whatever. And I thought, man, you're not even giving yourself a chance. Wait till we meet. And we finally met. And he was right. Quirky, sarcastic, tells it like it is, grumpy sometimes. Most wonderful friend I've ever had. Friend. So the day he saw that I was getting off Facebook, he called. Now we talk to each other about once every 2 weeks. And he said, what's going on? I said, Steve, I had the worst panic attack. And I just broke down and started crying. I said, I had the worst panic attack. I just want to go home. I just want to go and see my daughter. And he said, Janice, you take care of yourself the next few days. No videos, no going and meeting people, no pretending. You do what you want to do. You watch movies. You clean your floor if that's what you want to do. You take your dog for a walk. You do whatever you want to do. Because he knows what it's like. He's had them himself. And I've also talked with him. And it's not anything when you know someone has a panic attack. It's not anything like, well, what'd you do? Well, what happened? Well, what's going on? You can't answer those questions. You just know it happened and it was scary as hell. So he's been checking up on me in the next couple of days, and last couple of days. And even yesterday, I don't want to cry on this video. Even yesterday, I was feeling great. And I went to the store. I was feeling great. I was talking to one of my friends. We had been watching The Midwives, and we were trying to see who's seen the last episode. I was doing fine, but then all of a sudden I felt this anxiousness going on, and I took a little quarter of a pill. And then Steve called me, and I talked to him while shopping in the grocery store and as I was walking home. And it helped so much. And talking to my friend in California, Jeannie, it helped so much. So I don't know what's going on. I can tell you though, I'm positive. I am not negative about anything. I'm not negative about people. I'm not negative about Facebook. I'm not negative about doing videos. I love it. I have a passion. I love doing videos for you guys. Do I sometimes come down on myself? Well, yeah, we're all critical. We're all our worst critics. You know that. But I feel like life is wonderful and I'm so blessed. But then on the inside, there's this feeling that, why in the world do you have to take a pill to go to the store? You know, you took care of yourself for 4 days. So this is what I've kind of come up with. Taking care of yourself for 4 days is not enough. Taking care of yourself every day is what you have to do. You can't just go and go and go and not take care of yourself. You've got to do Pilates, in my case, because that's the exercise I do. I've got to take walks with my dog. I've got to take my animals out to my little garden area and enjoy them. Not be worried about what am I going to do when I get back in the house? What do I have to do? Enjoy the moment. Be in the moment. I've got to do my skin routine. I've got to put my lotion on my hands and put my gloves on at night. All these things I do for me. And I've realized that 4 days is not enough. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to take care of myself for 4 days. That'll take care of it. No, it's an ongoing taking care of yourself. So I've taken myself off sugar. Now, last week I did it, and then I messed up on Friday. I had to start back over on Saturday. In fact, last Monday, the first day I was off sugar, I didn't even talk to people because I know people wouldn't want to talk to me. And then it got easier and easier and easier. So this is what I'm doing to self-care for me. My Pilates every day. My walks with Max, not just to let him relieve himself. Take a walk. Look around. Smell. Do you know that I live 1 minute walk to the Fontainebleau forest? I live 1 minute from a forest. I walked in the forest for the first time the other day on my side, not on the chateau side. Max and I did. That's where we found the allotments that I talked about in my last video. And we actually enjoyed the time out. And we're taking more walks. Like every 2 or 3 hours, I'm out walking. So it isn't a 4 day, I took care of myself, so I'm okay now. No, it's an everyday thing. So if you are out there and you have been or are now or know someone that has panic attacks or that has had panic attacks, it is a continuation of taking care of ourselves. I don't know what caused it. It could have been wanting to move back home. It could have been stressing out about money. It could have been stressing out about weight. It could have been 100 different things. But it really doesn't matter what it was. It matters what I do now. And that's self-care. Whatever makes me feel good about me. Now, we all know I like to make videos, but when I'm off camera, that's what I have to do, the things that takes care of me. And you know what? If at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I feel a little tired, which sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but it's not a big deal if I just lay down for an hour. Maybe I want to catch up on a movie or something. It's okay. It's okay to take time out. And I have learned that the hard way the last week and a half. So I'm going to leave you, hopefully, not confused, hopefully knowing that I have some big decisions to make, and I know you have big decisions in your life to make, and maybe we can kind of help each other out by venting with our friends, letting those toxic relationships go, get rid of them, call a friend and say, hey, I just need you to listen. I just think we really need to take care of ourselves as women. I'm not saying men don't, but as women, it seems like we take on the world on our shoulders. I know I do. Thank you so much for being here today and listening to me and being in my living room. And if you ever do want to vent, please email me. And if you would like to join our Wisdom and Wellness class on Sunday evenings, email me by Friday, janiceinfrance@gmail.com, and I will send you the Zoom link. We had about 7 people last week, a couple new. We kind of have a tendency to get off track sometimes, but you know what? That's okay, because Wisdom and Wellness, we're there with a group of people that we trust and that we want to talk to. So we don't have to talk about one topic. I usually have something that I want to talk about to just kind of throw it out there, but then it doesn't matter. We just talk. And then sometimes, Rick especially, Rick and Jean-Marc, they always say, after an hour of me being on there, they'll say, Janice, can you just leave and then the rest of us will talk? I love that. I don't get offended at all because I know I have put together a group of people, like-minded people, that just want to talk to each other. Maybe they'll find out if they want to move to France, because a lot of these people are in the States. One lady's in the UK, Jean-Marc is in France, and Rick is wanting to move to France. So it's just, it's just a fun group. No, we don't always laugh, and we don't always agree. And sometimes others talk too much, but that's okay. That's what you call friends, right? And we love to be able to get together. And that's why I wanted this group, Wisdom and Wellness. And then after an hour, I leave. Because Rick will make sure that I leave. He'll say, Janice, you leave and let us stay in here. I said, okay, you just want to gossip, all right. Thanks for being here with me today. Not only that, thanks for being here for me today. You'll see this on a Thursday. And I wish you a great weekend. And remember, since you're going to be seeing this on a Thursday, if you want to sign up for that Wisdom and Wellness class, let me know. I hope everyone has a great week and a great weekend by the time you see this. I love you all. I think of you all often. You're my family. You're my community. As always, I love you. Au revoir.